This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glyn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 518 of Shutters Inc.
Where the hell have you been?
Yes, exactly. Where have you been?
Every Thursday night, I log on, I sit there on Skype waiting for you. You never told me anything. I don't know what's going on, and you're not there. Week after week, you're not answering my phone calls, you're not answering my texts. I've sent a letter by mail, but it probably hasn't got there yet. I sent it 3 weeks ago.
No, let's not joke about the mail. Oh, God.
G'day, mate.
How are you?
Well, I have no idea, frankly. Yeah. We've been on hiatus.
We have.
Which is a fancy... Is that French?
I have no idea.
I don't know. It could be Haiti.
I was going to say, it sounds like an island in the Caribbean.
Well, I think Haiti has some links to the US, so maybe they just call it hiatus now or something.
Right.
It could be.
Very possibly.
This cross-pollination and stuff, you know. It's been 6 weeks? I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
It must be at least 6 weeks.
I honestly have no concept of time anymore.
Right.
You know? Because every day is just the same anyway, and if you don't have anything that's going to hold you in reality, the only time I notice the weekend is when my wife's not at her desk.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I've been unwell. I still am. We've had a whole battery of tests of just about every possible thing, bloods and urines and scans of this and scans of that, and probed with this and probed with that, and we pushed into these big MRI machines, and then they go off for lunch and leave you there for a while and come back out and get you, all sorts of stuff. And it's still until mid-November I won't have any real answers.
Wow.
You know? But which is kind of mad, you know. Yeah. I've got diabetes. That's one of the things that's come up, you know, and that's a reasonable portion of the weirdness I've been feeling and the unwellness, the vision that jumps and jitters around of its own accord all of a sudden, and numb, painful or numb feet, you know, and feeling cold for the first time. I'm like an old man now. I sit with a blankie every day. I sit there with a little blankie on my legs, usually a cat on the lap, you know.
Yeah.
Get my cup of tea.
Yep.
A biscuit. Yeah, sugar-free, might add. So that's we still don't really know what's going on with stuff like the heart and stuff like that. It'll come up at some point. And so mid-November, obviously, one specialist said it obviously isn't too dire. Otherwise, they would be calling you and telling you to come on down. Right. They're not.
Yeah.
Which to me doesn't give you any confidence, because what if they haven't looked yet?
Yeah.
It's to say they've looked at the charts. You know? I went into a cardiologist. And he goes, right, we need you in hospital for the next week from this afternoon.
Oh, wow.
You know, driving home from that appointment, no, we don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll just put you through a whole bank of tests.
Right.
So it's like, okay, and then no answer on any of those tests for like 6 weeks, and still for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, right.
And I'm down. I get a call. Go down to the cardiologist. Go, right, here we go. Getting the results. I get down there. I know, just doing another test. So what do you mean? Is no one going to tell me anything? Is this good or bad news?
They've given up hope on you, mate.
It's like I've started putting together the music playlist for the funeral. You know, I've got. I thought about organising all my photographs just in case, so when I go, people will have them ordered. But I thought we'll stuff them. That's far too much work.
Dear.
So it's been a bit of limbo, you know.
Yeah.
And communications from doctors ain't particularly great, you know. No. And of course, COVID being what it is still down here, and so we've only just theoretically come out of lockdown, on Thursday night, so 4 days ago.
Yeah.
You can't get in to see people, like specialists and stuff. Is really hard. I've had 2 different lots of people do with the diabetes. It's just phone conversations, and that's not easy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's not easy to get information the way you want.
No.
But I'm cracking on. I'm doing all right. I've lost 8 kilos.
Wow, that's great, man.
Yeah. I had a vasectomy. No. I got circumcised. No, yes, I'm down 8 kilos, and I've got a ways to go, but that's all feeling good. In fact, I'm wearing a shirt right now, Bruce.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to wear it in about 4 years.
That's awesome.
So that's all feeling good. I've radically, completely, and totally overhauled my diet. I eat almost nothing I used to eat.
Right.
It's almost everything's completely gone, which is good, and loving it. That's all good. Yeah.
That's great.
And what else?
Are you sleeping better?
Oh, not at all, Bruce.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought maybe the sleep might have improved, given, you've made some healthy choices in other areas.
Not totally. It's not totally bad. I mean, I went to bed at 2:15 this morning, and I was up at 5:50. So that's a good 3.5 hours.
Yeah, right.
Well, it wasn't a good. I woke a couple of times in between, but. And I probably would have slept later. It's some stupid bird out the window. It was making this noise I've never heard before. It's like, ack, 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 ack. It went off for like about 3 minutes. I'm opening the curtains. I'm looking at the tree that's out there, trying to see what kind of hell. Ack, ack. I thought it sounded like a cat with a fur ball up a tree. But that was so. I probably would have slept longer if it hadn't been for that little bugger.
Yeah, right.
But speaking of birds, a weird thing happened to us the other day.
Yeah.
So where our kitchen is, we look out over our backyard patio area.
Yep.
And out there we've got a chair and chairs and tables and stuff, and a rooftop sort of gazebo opening rooftop type thing, which was closed, so it's like a roof. And this magpie flies in and sits on the back of one of the chairs, which never happens. I've never had a magpie fly and come in this close. And he's just stood there staring at me. So I'm staring at him. He's staring at me. I opened the back door, go out to with about 5 feet of him. He's just sitting there staring at me. That's pretty weird. So I go back inside. I have to go to the front of the house.
You sure it wasn't a vulture, mate?
No, no. Carrion. Where's the carrion at? Yeah, we smell the death. So go out the front door. Probably 10 minutes later, and he's flown around the front, and there he is on the footpath. So I sit down. He comes walking straight up to me. Within about 3 or 4 feet, it just sits there.
Wow.
And I'm by my little rock garden, so I start moving some rocks and finding a couple of worms and just hand feeding him worms.
Wow.
Never in my life have I had a magpie do that. I've never seen him again. It was the one this morning going, "Ack, the worms, ack, ack, got a worm in my throat, ack, worm in my throat." So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so look, overall, I'm feeling. When I'm not feeling bad, I'm feeling good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I'm not, and I'm not feeling bad all the time, just under certain circumstances.
When you say feeling bad, is this mentally or physically?
Oh, physically.
Right.
Yeah, physically, yeah. So I've got nerve damage in my feet and stuff like that, and that hurts all the time.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So we don't know how bad or how long or if that, And my dad had diabetes, and my dad lost a leg to diabetes.
Wow.
In fact, he was hospitalised for the last 6 months of his life, 4 months of his life.
Right.
And during that time, it's just bed sores got so infected on his feet that they had to take his foot off.
Jeez.
And then they were going to take his other foot off. He goes, just end me. So they put him down.
Wow.
So it's not, with my feet hurting like they are, it's bleak thinking about that.
Yeah.
And knowing how that worked out for him. So, in 3 months' time, I could go see someone in real life about that. So, they reckon they'll be able to see doctors and stuff.
Right.
It's just nuts. It's fairly exacerbated with all just the lockdowns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we, like you people up in Sydney, we've had our Freedom Day. We waited till we had the highest possible cases, and we said, "Let's open up."
That's how you do it.
We've got 2 cases, lockdown. We've got 2,000 cases, open up.
Yeah.
Say what now?
Yeah.
So my youngest daughter got to go back to school last week for the first time. She got to go back for 1 day. Right. On Friday. On Wednesday, they had to close the school down for a COVID case.
Oh, you're kidding.
Today, my eldest daughter went back to school for the first time. Last week, they had to close it down because they had 3 COVID cases.
Oh, jeez.
let's see how long this is going to last, shall we? You know,
Yeah.
I think they've all given up now. I think they said, just the hell with it. You know? Yeah, it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I kind of feel like we should just throw caution to the wind now.
I don't think we've got much of a choice.
No.
You know, until that's all the people are going to die. But and it's, you know what? It's not even the people that are going to die. It's the people going to be sick for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. My mate, Stan Harrison, you know Stan Harrison?
Yeah.
So he had COVID early this year, probably Feb, something like that it might have been.
Right.
He's just getting his sense of smell and taste back.
Wow. In October.
Yeah, what life is like with no sense of smell or taste.
You'd lose a lot of weight.
But you'd lose a lot of joy in life.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, smell is really important when it comes to food.
Yes.
We all know that, you know. But what a lot of people don't know is gluten. You know, gluten.
Yeah.
That adds all the flavour to food.
Right.
Because anything gluten tastes like crap.
Yeah.
I'm afraid gluten's where the flavour's at. You know?
Right.
Yeah, if you can't smell and you're gluten intolerant, I mean, you ain't got much of a. You ain't got much and then there's other long what is called long COVID, where people who can't breathe for 6 months. That's
Yeah.
going to be up. Or headaches for 6 months, or can't feel their legs for 6 months, or all this kind of weird ass stuff. So,
Yeah, right.
and it's not necessarily fatal, but it bogs up the whole medical system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the dilemma. I mean, down here in Melbourne 2 weeks ago, I was getting inside reports from people in the hospital medical field,
Yeah.
saying they're all on black status, where almost everything's been cancelled. We've run out of beds. We've run out of space. We're desperately trying to get regional places opened up so we can send people out
Yeah.
because we can't function anymore. Everything's been cancelled. All non-COVID things that are possible are being cancelled.
Yeah, right.
And this 1,000 cases a day in a city, in a state of 6 million people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot. Yeah. If you need a ventilator, bad luck. There are none left.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. And none of this was in the media.
Yeah,
None
right.
of this was in the media. And so we're looking at, we're getting this news from hospitals, people we know who work in it. And then you're watching the news and they're all going, oh, it's fine. Let's open up. Freedom Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but, I trust the source that's telling me
Yep.
I think it's dire. And then you got no, it's all lovely. What you going to do?
Yep.
So anyway, that's enough about me. Today's episode, by the way, people, is just a little catch-up, just a wee, I'm hoping maybe we can do, at least for the time being, maybe every fortnight. What do you think?
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Can't do every fortnight. Let's do every 2 weeks.
We can do that too.
I know what a fortnight is. Just think of that. Fortnight's more than just a game, people. So just a wee catch up. Just gonna let you know we haven't fallen off the face of the earth yet.
Yet. Yep.
Yeah. Look, and I was thinking about you, Bruce, in my direst of moments when we had really no idea what was going on, and I was feeling really pretty darn bad.
Yeah.
I was putting out on Facebook that I was dead.
I didn't see that.
I felt I was going to.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see what people were going to say about me. Because once you're dead, for real, you don't get that chance.
No, that's right.
And I'd like, it would be kind of nice to see, he wasn't as bad as we thought he was. So, you'd have to read some positive vibes when you're feeling a bit low, It'd have been stuff like, Glenn's dead, tell us your favourite memories of him. I'd sit there and have a laugh for a couple of days.
Have you ever heard the fairy tale of the boy who cried wolf?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If I die and people don't believe it the second time round,
Yeah.
doesn't matter because I'm dead.
Fair enough.
I wasn't seeing the stuff anyway if they didn't put stuff second time round because stuff first time round. See what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a win situation. I can't, other than being dead, I can't lose in that situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It's all positive, mostly. Okay, let's say 90% positive stuff. It might upset a few people, especially my family, who I wouldn't have told. That was somewhat of a shock. But they still don't know about my illness, by the way, I might add.
Oh, okay.
My people I live with, but I haven't bothered to tell them,
The extended family.
Yeah, so look, nothing to report, but just wanted to, I reached out to you last week and said I'd love to do a little episode this week just to see how you're going, not just talk about it. I want to hear how you've been going and with all your new challenges. How's the job going?
So, look, the job's great. I
still enjoying the aspect of it all, and
yeah. So they had me in store for the first 5.5 weeks, I guess.
Well, I think where we left off, you just started doing. I don't think you'd gone quite solo yet, but you'd gone out with another guy.
Right.
I think that's kind of where we left off.
Yeah, right. So I did 3 days out on the road with one of the other drivers, and he said to me after the second day, he said, "Mate, you've got this under control. You're fine.
You're not as dumb as some of the other people I've tried."
Yeah, exactly. But he said to me, "Look, I'll still come out with you tomorrow," because we'd been scheduled to do 3 days together, and I said, "Yeah, look, I'm fine with that as well." I said, "But tomorrow, just don't help me. Even if I look like I'm struggling, don't help me, because I need to work it out for myself, to be able to do it all on my own." And he said, "Yep, fair enough." So he actually felt quite guilty just sitting in the truck for the whole day while I was working, but
I wouldn't.
But he got it. He understood. Yeah, and so after that, they had me out on the road by myself, and I've absolutely loved it. The driving shifts are much more enjoyable than the in-store shifts because you get to, you're still physically active, in the getting into the truck and finding the crates and, scanning them off with the scanner and then, delivering them however far you've got to deliver them. And, but you then get to jump back in the truck and go for a drive, and sometimes you can be on the road for 15, 20 minutes between drops. So there's quite a lot of driving involved, which I absolutely enjoy. And I get to go out to a lot of rural properties, which I love. I get to see lots of horses and lots of dogs, both of which I talk to more than the customers. And yeah, it's just great. I love it.
Awesome.
But this week they've had me back in store for 3 shifts. Well, I've done 2, got 1 more to do. But then at the end of this week, we're finally getting our 3rd truck. They told me when I started, we've got 2 trucks, but we have got a 3rd one on the way. That's actually arriving at the end of this week. So from next week, we'll have 3 trucks on the road, and they are going to have me back out on the road again. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I can imagine being out and about be a hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah, it's great. But
not quite the camaraderie you might get with being in.
No, but you get a fair bit of that at the beginning and the end of the drive. Like, so you're interacting with the guys in the store before you go and then when you come back. So, you still get that.
No, fair enough.
But, on other fronts, the lockdown that we had here in New South Wales went for, I don't know, about 15 weeks or something. And I found that really started to grind me down after a while. And I got to the point around about the time that you said to me, I need to lay low for a little while, where I just couldn't face creating any content. And I basically told my Darktable audience I'm going quiet for a while because I'm just not coping. And I haven't put out a Darktable video now for almost 2 months.
Gosh.
Yeah, I really want to sort of I feel like I'm back there now, like I'm ready to start doing stuff again.
Well, that's important. You got to be in that mindset. Same with me with the podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Have other stuff enough under control that you can.
Yeah. And I feel like
a bit more.
If you try and push through that and keep on creating, then it just becomes a chore that you just can't face, and you just end up resenting the whole thing. And so I just felt like for my
That's how I feel about you.
Thank you, mate.
And the audience.
So I felt like I just needed some time out, and
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And then in the midst of all that, I'm guessing, my dad had already passed away, so you all knew about that. Then my auntie, my dad's sister, takes the original of Dad's will and puts it in an express post envelope and posts it in Perth.
Don't say that.
You know where this is going, right? She posts it from Perth, right?
No.
And she kept sending me texts, every few days. Has it arrived yet? No. Has it arrived yet? No. Has it arrived yet? No. Anyway, gets to around about the first or second week of October, so 10 days ago or thereabouts, still hasn't arrived. And we were talking on the phone one day, and she goes, "Oh, actually, I've got the tracking number for it. I'll send that to you so you can check up on it."
Information that would have been handy earlier.
Yeah, so I went, okay, great. So she sends me the tracking number. I go to the Australia Post website, and I enter the tracking number, and the website says your item was delivered on September the 30th. No, it wasn't. So I went and talked to Max. I said, "Mate, have you seen an express post envelope arrive for me in the last couple of weeks?" He's gone, "No." I went, "Okay." Talked to Kath. No, nothing. I was like, "Oh, far out." Yeah. So I've rung the local post office, and I said to the guy, I said, "Look, I don't know what to do." I said, this item was mailed from Perth. The website, the Australia Post website says it's been delivered, but I don't have it, and no one else here has received it. And it has the original of my father's will, and as the executor of his estate, I can't do anything to execute his estate without the original of the will. And the guy goes, "Yeah, right. Wow, that's not good at all." He said, "Let me find out who was doing the delivery run on that particular day." Because we knew it was September the 30th that it was supposedly delivered. So he comes back to me a few days later, and he said, "I had a chat with the guy who did the run on that particular day." I went, "Okay." Yeah. And I'm thinking, the postie's not going to remember one particular envelope
3 weeks ago.
From 3 weeks ago. Yeah. But anyway, he says to me, I had a chat with him. He remembers the envelope. He delivered it to number 2, and I'm at number 8.
What?
And I thought, "Oh, that's weird." So, and right at the time that he rang me back, I was sitting at my computer, and I had just written a little note, and I was printing off 11 or 12 copies of this note, and it basically said, "Hi, it's Bruce from number 8. If by any chance you've seen an express post envelope arrive in your mailbox in the last couple of weeks, maybe
it wasn't yours. It wasn't addressed to you."
Yeah, but sometimes people just put it on the sideboard and think, I'll drop that back in the mail, and then they forget about it, So I wrote up this little note, and I was going to drop it in all the mailboxes in the street, because thankfully we live in a cul-de-sac and there's only about 12 houses in the street. So anyway, I thought, well, that's really weird. I wonder why it would have got dropped at number 2. So anyway, I head off down the street, and I'm dropping these notes into all the mailboxes, and I get down to number 2. I knock on the door, and the woman comes to the door, and she thinks I'm there to sell her something until I say, I'm Bruce, I live up at number 8. And she goes, "Oh, okay, hi." And
I've got some mail for you.
I said to her, "Look, is there by any chance that a couple of weeks ago you might have received an express post envelope for me?" And she goes, "Yes, I did." And I went, and I'm like, "Oh my God."
Did?
And I went, "Oh, really?" And she goes, "Yeah." She said it arrived here on a Thursday or a Friday. And she said, "We didn't know the name of the person it was addressed to." And she says, "How long have you lived here?" And I said, 10 years. and she starts apologising for not knowing me, and I said, "Oh no, look, it's on us. We don't socialise a lot with the people in the street either, And she said, "Yeah, so it sat here over the weekend." And she said, "On the following Monday, I happened to see the postie coming down the street, so I ran out with the envelope, and I said to him, 'I don't know who this person is.' And he said, 'Okay, I'll take it and I'll look after it. Or, I'll deal with it.' She said, so he took it back, but I don't know what he did with it." I went, and I'm like, hey, this is great news, because this to me tells me it's not lost. It's just still in transit somewhere.
Up to that point.
Well, yeah, as long as he didn't just decide to throw it away. So I've gone and rung the post office back, and I said, "Look, hopefully this is good news. She's given it back to the postie."
Now, that wouldn't happen very often, so you'd think he'd remember that.
Yeah, and so the guy at the post office said, "Well, if that's the case, he should have brought it back to the depot, and he will have put return to sender on it, so it should be on its way back to Western Australia."
Oh.
And okay, yes, it's frustrating that it's holding things up, but if it's not lost, I'm okay with that. as long as it's still in transit somewhere, I don't mind. I mean, yes, I'd like to get on with finalising Dad's estate, but, as long as it's not lost, I don't care if I have to wait a little bit longer. So now I'm just hoping like heck that it does actually get back to my auntie in Western Australia, and then she can, she said if it does come back, I'll send it again registered mail, so it has to be signed for.
Do a bloody copy!
Yeah. Well, I did say to her, I said, did you by any chance get, notarised copies of the will before you sent it? And she went, no, I didn't, because I didn't expect it to go missing, So...
anything as a single piece of original. I mean, was it being held at the lawyers, or was she holding it, or was it just found at the house?
Dad had it in his unit, and she's
people. These are life lessons here, people. Yeah, life lessons.
Yeah. So thankfully now, all of Dad's possessions have been removed from the unit he was living in, and they've handed the keys back. So I'm not having to continue paying rent. Like I would have been paying rent for probably 6 weeks after he died, because it took that time for someone to be able to go and get all of his belongings out of the unit, and because obviously I couldn't go.
No,
I would have happily gone and looked after it all, but McGowan wouldn't let me into the state. So so it's just been a mongrel of a year all round, and just so I just decided to take a break from the content creation and just lay low and just enjoy it, and and this weekend coming, and this is the reason we're recording this early in the week. It's Tuesday afternoon as we're recording this. This weekend, I'm going up to see Dave, and we're going to record some music, and we have not seen each other since March of this year. And I said to him on the phone the other day when he said to me, "Oh, we haven't seen each other since March," I said, "Man, that's got to be the longest break that you and I have had from seeing each other in the 20 plus years we've known each other." And he went, "Yeah, without a doubt." So very much looking forward to that. That will be very good for the soul. And
for sure, just to do something that's content creation that's purely enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not on you to do the finalised. He's going to come up with the sound, not you.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. In other news. Yeah. Poor Max, who, has been trying to get into the army for years and years and years, has just been constantly having it set back by, 2 motorcycle accidents and COVID and, goodness knows what else. Was due to go in back in May, and of course then we went into, it wasn't lockdown. There was something happened. In May they told him he was going in at the beginning of July, and of course at the time that July rolled around we were into a lockdown. And so they said then that they might take them all to a hotel in Sydney and put them in 2 weeks quarantine and then take them down to Kapooka. And that was going to happen on a Monday in July, and then that was all going ahead until the Friday, and then they rang and said, "No, it's not happening." And so, so then he was like, "Oh, okay, so I'm not going now, I'm staying put." And so he was basically just spending all of his days in his bedroom, either watching YouTube or streaming to his Twitch audience, because he'd built up a bit of a Twitch following, playing his games online, and, he's actually earning a little bit of money from that. So it gave him something to do, but it was a very lonely existence.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Then they said, might be August. So August rolls around. Oh, no, you're still in lockdown. Going to have to wait longer. So then it might be September. And it's like, it just dragged on and on and on. And then eventually, late September, they said, right, we're doing it Monday the 11th of October. You bring him to Newcastle. We will take all of them to Sydney and put them in quarantine in a hotel for 2 weeks. And then we will take them from there to Kapooka. And Kath had actually spoken with his careers advisor at the Army and said, look, is this really going to happen? Because she said, I don't know how many more of these false starts he can handle. You know, it's really getting to him. And he said, no, it's definitely happening. So on Monday the 11th, which was 2 weeks ago yesterday, we took him up to Newcastle. And we said our goodbyes and dropped him off. And
so you should just about be finished quarantine.
Originally, they said they were going to put him in an Ibis budget hotel.
Oh.
Now, if you know what an Ibis budget hotel looks like, it is...
it's not a place you want to spend 14 days.
Almost as primitive as the stateroom on a cruise ship. It's pretty harsh and not much space. And... anyway, he gets taken down to Sydney on the Tuesday, the 12th, to a Holiday Inn, which was a much better, choice of venue to have to spend 2 weeks in isolation. And the great thing about it was he had his phone, he had a laptop, and we were able to chat with him on the phone every single day. And he had some room, physical space within the room that he could do some sprints up and down the motel room, and he could do his push-ups, and he could do, all kinds of cardio stuff just to keep himself moving during those 2 weeks. And they jumped on the bus this morning and left Warwick Farm, and they should be arriving at Kapooka any hour now. So
how cool.
Things
finally
have
happening.
finally happening.
On the day it all came together.
I know. So, I'm so happy for him, And the thing is, when he was still here and, he was just spending all of his time in his room, He even lost the motivation. As much as he wanted to go and get on with it, he lost the motivation to go out and do the exercise. And I kept saying to him, I said, mate, you really got to get your physical fitness up. I said, you don't want to be the weakest link when you arrive at Kapooka. That is going to be hard work no matter what shape you're in, and you don't want to be the weakest link in the chain. And no matter what I said, I couldn't get him to get motivated. And I was really concerned. And I said this to Kath. I said, I'm really worried that he's just not ready, either mentally or physically,
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, we dropped him off in Newcastle. He gets to the hotel in Sydney, and seriously, within 48 hours, you talk to him on the phone and you could hear this complete change in his mental attitude and his disposition. It was like, holy crap, he is totally ready. And about a week into it, someone on one of the other floors, because they were on, I think, 3 different floors of the hotel. There were 68 of them, all in their own rooms. Someone on one of the other floors failed the daily inspection. And the thing with the army, if one guy fails, everybody gets punished. Right, so, and I think their inspection was 9 a.m. You've got to be ready to open your door within 5 seconds of the knock, and you have to be in full dress uniform and stand at attention with a mask on your face, and you have to have been shaved and done your hair, etc., etc. Right, so somebody's failed, so they get told tomorrow 6 a.m. everybody. Same rules apply. They failed again.
Oh.
So the third day, it's 5 a.m. And at this point, and they've got a signal chat going, right? The army said to them, set up all of you put signal on your phones, and we're setting up a group chat for all of you. Oh, no, that's what started it. Sorry, that's what started it. The very first thing that happened. And they'd been told all the rules. They were told the rules before they left Newcastle. No media, right?
Yeah.
One of them goes and takes photographs of the army personnel who are patrolling the hotel and keeping an eye on everybody, and then posts the photos in the signal chat. Now, on one hand, I kind of think, well, okay, it's in the signal chat, which is encrypted, and it's only viewable by the guys who are there. But the rule said no media. You don't take photos of army personnel at all. That's it.
And, and so share it.
And so that's, exactly. And so that's what started it all. And so then they've constantly been getting these, earlier and earlier start times, and they failed the 4th morning, and the army guy in charge at the hotel had basically said, if you guys don't get it together, I will be advising Kapuka and you'll all be in the minute you arrive. and by this stage, some of the recruits had already posted in the Signal group going, guys, you need to get the memo. You know, this is not a holiday. We are being paid to do this. And you need to lift your game. So eventually they, they did all pass. And but in those 4 days, they had delivery privileges removed, so they couldn't get groceries delivered or anything like that. They weren't, for the whole 2 weeks, they weren't allowed to get takeout delivered. They could only have the food that was provided for them by the hotel. But they were able to order groceries, except for the times when they were denied that
banished.
privilege. They weren't allowed alcohol in those 2 weeks. So it's been pretty full on 2 weeks. But
well, welcome to the army.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
If you think this is tough, wait till we get stuck into it.
Yes, and that's what I said to Max. I said, I spoke to him this morning. Had a good chat with him last night and said, look, I may not get to talk to you tomorrow morning, but I will try and call you before you get on the bus. And I did call him this morning, and I said, look, mate, it's gonna be hell, but I just know that you're ready for it. You've got your attitude all sorted, and I know you're going to have a great time, and you're going to be thankful, when you get out the other end of it and have fun. Yeah. And the great thing is, because it has been delayed as often as it has, and it's a 12-week training thing, and so they're not starting until, today, basically. It means that it's going to run over Christmas and New Year, and the Army has said they are going to send them all home for 2 weeks over Christmas, New Year, which is something you don't normally get. Normally, once they go in for basic training, you don't see them for 12 weeks until the final march out. So he will be home for Christmas for a week and a bit, and then he'll go back down to Kapuka for the last month of it. Yeah, so... Yeah, from today on, we will have no contact with him for at least the next 4 weeks because they get their phones taken off them and they don't get any communication with family for the next 4 weeks. So,
wow.
So, yeah, it's we are now officially empty nesters.
Man.
And Kat said, this 2 weeks is probably good that he was put into quarantine because it meant he was out of here, like he's not at home, but we did at least still have the ability to chat with him. So it's kind of a softening.
Like a transition, isn't it? Yeah,
a soft transition, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. So, yeah. And the dog's getting older and less healthy as the days go by, and he's not going to be with us for a whole lot longer, I don't think. So,
damn.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of...
Well, we thought 2020 was bad.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Anyway.
So that's kind of
what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, mate, I'm glad to hear that you're, in a better state physically and that you are...
And mentally.
And mentally,
too.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely. So
8 kilos off, man. That's awesome. Well done.
Yeah. Only 20 to go.
Well, bit by bit.
That's good. That life. It's it. Other than when I'm not feeling bad, I'm feeling good.
Yep,
and that's good. And it's all good. The school's going back, so the kids are happy. Got my second jab today, so
awesome.
We can not worry too much about that sort of stuff anymore. And all fine. And the eldest gets her second one next week, and the youngest can't be jabbed at all. So we can start moving forward when things are allowed to move forward a bit. And
nice.
It's all good. Looking forward to getting away for a couple of weekends here and there, and just actually be able to relax for the first time, and not relax, decompress, change of environment. I've been stuck in the same environment for 2 years.
That's what I said to Kath. When they actually let up the restrictions here 2.5 weeks ago, I said, the funny thing is, I'm not really going anywhere now that I was not allowed to go to last week, but it feels like I'm not as restricted as I was for the previous, almost 4 months,
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
It's funny that I now have the freedom to go, but I'm happy to stay at home anyway. But it just feels less oppressive,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, all good, and only onwards and upwards from here, dude.
Excellent. And your family are all well?
Yeah, well, the immediate ones are. Yeah, don't know about the others. Haven't talked. my sister's youngest son his wife had a baby last weekend. So
awesome.
It'd be my nephew's kid, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm great with that stuff. But yeah, everything's just pootling along. No major dramas other than myself, really.
Yeah.
And that'll be what it'll be.
Exactly.
Can't fight the odds.
Well, mate, great to chat.
You too, mate.
And
my phone's been buzzing hot whilst we've been talking, so
right.
I've got. I'm on the cusp of buying a car finally. If I can find anything actually available.
Right.
Yeah, this is the problem. You can't buy. You can't. It's just nothing.
Why are you buying a car?
I need to replace my car.
Oh.
And I've been going since like January this year. I've been trying to get a vehicle.
Right. Okay.
And some vehicle waiting times at the moment are 14 months.
What?
You order a car in 14 months.
Yikes.
You might get a vehicle delivered.
Jeez. So you're buying new then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to, because anything recent that's second hand sells for more than a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a car the other day, 3 years old, 35,000 kilometres on the clock. They only wanted 9,000 over retail.
Wow. Jeez.
And probably getting it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 51,000 new, selling it for $60,000.
Wow.
3 years old with 35,000 kilometres on the clock.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how crazy the world is,
Yep.
And people say, you shouldn't buy new because as soon as you drive it off the lot, it devalues so much. Well, at the moment, you could drive them off the lot and sell it for more than you just paid for it.
Yeah.
Which is pure insanity.
That is crazy.
So anyway, I've got a few messages there for some dealers here, and we'll see what we get.
And what sort of car are you looking at?
Oh, at the moment, anything I can get.
Anything with four wheels. Excellent. All right.
Need a family wagon that we can go do some camping in.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm looking across Subarus and Hyundais and Kias, and I was looking at Toyotas, but they're ridiculous. A, they're not built very well, and B, they're by comparison to the other three, and redonkulous wait times anyway. So
yeah, right. Wow,
crazy times. Crazy times.
All right, mate. Well, stay safe and stay well.
Thank you, everyone. Good to be back. Hopefully, you don't mind us not talking about photos.
Yeah, but we will get back to that. We will get back.
I'll throw something's photo in very quickly.
Yeah.
Got a hankering to buy a Fuji X something.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why. Madness, I say. Madness.
Right.
Gear lust.
Do you know what? I will throw in one very quick photographic thing. I was almost going to send you a message a couple of weeks ago and say, why does Tamron not have anything in E-mount that is macro and zoom? Why is it that all the macro stuff is fixed focal length? And what do you know? They've just announced version 2 of their 28-75-2.8 with macro.
There you go.
Yeah.
No idea. Wouldn't be my answer.
Yeah, right.
But this way, I didn't even know that they didn't.
Right. Well, I guess unless you're in the market, you wouldn't, really pay attention to those level of specifics.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just would have assumed that they did.
Yeah.
Because I know this is the 17 to 35. I think it was I tested.
Yeah.
And the 11 to 20. The 11 to 20 zoom goes down to like 3 millimeters.
Wow.
I mean, so yeah, that certainly focused close.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the 17 to 35 did as well.
Right.
But that might have been for a Canon camera.
Right.
But anyway,
yeah.
Definitely the 11 to 20 they were shooting with. That went stupid close.
Right.
Close that you couldn't stop your own shadowing and everything.
So I'm thinking now, do I try and sell my version 1 lens and pick up the new V2? Just so I get some macro capabilities.
And I think that they've improved some other areas too. And so,
right.
Yeah. I'm told it's exceptionally good. And your one is rated extremely highly for the glass. This one apparently is levels above again.
Wow. Okay.
I'm told.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Excellent.
Sorry about the photography stuff in there, people. We'll try and fix that next week and like that. So 2 weeks time. 2 weeks time, we'll do another one.
Excellent. Sounds good.
And then we'll do another one before Christmas.
Sounds good. All right, mate. Well, you take care, and we'll talk to you then.
A roadmap to recovery, I think they called it in our coming out of lockdown.
Excellent.
All right, people.
All right, mate.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.